If an apple a day keeps the doctor away, then what does that mean, or what does that have to do with supersizing and growing your business? What impact does that have? Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here, and our idiom today is an apple a day. I am an apple lover. Favorite, Honeycrisp. Honeycrisp apples are the bomb. They're the best. I absolutely adore them. And I purposely said if, then, because it reminded me of logic in college. I actually had to take a logic class in college, which is funny because I really didn't come off as back then, especially a very logical person, or a very person that seemed to deal mostly out of reason and objectivity. I was a lot more emotional back then. When you're in college, you're a college girl, holy buckets, and I can say girl because I was a girl back then. Definitely didn't consider myself a very logical person. But what I realized as soon as I got into logic class, logic is nothing more than math, right? It's equations. Plus and plus equals a plus. Plus and minus equals a, depending on the situation. So once I turned it into math equations, I always loved math, and being an engineer, that made sense for me. So I got an A plus in logic, which was funny because it turns out my mom, who's also not a person that you would consider very optimistic and logical, also got an A plus when she took logic in college. She told me after I got an A plus in logic. So got a lot of A's in college, some B's, some C's, some grades in classes that I took over again. Yep. Sometimes I had to take a class over again. Not very many, thankfully, but a couple. And I hate to admit it, but one of those was statistics, which I ended up using statistics for, because I got sick in college, but I ended up using statistics for my entire corporate career, right? And I learned that one of my favorite books is How to Lie with Statistics, because you can make statistics say anything you want them to, which I do not recommend, by the way. I think marketers and business people like to use statistics to convince people to do something. But whenever I hear a statistic, my first question is, yeah, but how do they come up with that number? Where did that come from? Because I understand how easy it is to manipulate information and make it look one way when it's absolutely positively not that way. So what does this have to do? Where did this idiom come from? An apple a day keeps the doctor away is actually from Wales. It originated in Wales in 1866. It was first an apple on going to bed, and you'll keep your doctor from earning his bread. And that in 1913 changed to, it's an American proverb, and it turned to an apple a day keeps the doctor away, meaning if you eat healthy, if you take care of yourself, if you think about how you're consuming things and what you're consuming, that will impact your physical well-being and your physical health. And that impacts everything else. In this year's annual challenge, we're revisiting our physical goals and our physical well-being. And we're talking about all the topics that we talked about in the month of May. We covered it as part of a 9-part life framework that I share and teach with everybody I know. And we went through that, and then we talked about all the different areas and all the different topics we talked about, as well as a run through the SOAP process, which is basically a problem-solving challenge, obstacle overcoming process that we have installed in our subconscious, so we don't even really have to think about it when stuff comes up. We just handle it automatically, unless it's a great big thing like the COVID pandemic, and we have to consciously decide and go through the same process. And how does this physically, how do things physically impact us, and how does this particular thing, making good choices, to having good habits, impact our ability to grow and build and supersize our business? Well, of course, the internet is a plethora of information, and I found a bunch of different really interesting lists on there about habits of successful businesses and business owners, entrepreneurs, etc. And I'll just share a few of those because I think they're interesting. You can find all of the habits you want. I think there was one that was 20, one that was 100, one was 7, one was 10, one was 12. But how many habits do you need? You need the ones that work for you. And this is another reminder that we need to pick and choose the things that work for us as we grow and build and supersize our business. Because our journey, although we can model other people, it's going to be slightly different for each and every one of us. So what are some, let's do this one. 7 healthy business entrepreneurial habits. Number 1, measure progress. Number 2, take calculated risks. 3, never stop learning. 4, delegate wisely. 5, acquire and manage talent. 6, know when to say no. 7, have a laser focus. 8, listen more than you talk. It's a good list. I would agree with everything on that list, and have experience with all those things as well. Then I found another list that was kind of fun. It said, Don't take no for an answer. Depends on what you're looking at, but sometimes no is no for a reason. Learn from the best. Love that one. Stay hungry and ambitious. Again, I think we're more hungry and ambitious different stages and different phases of our life. But I think that there's this driving, motivating factor that's within us as entrepreneurs and business owners that keeps us moving forward no matter what. Never stand still. Always be moving forward, continually improving, and embracing change. One of the tricks and things I learned when I was much, much younger that I think has kept me going through all the highs and the lows of businesses and of life as well is that change is inevitable. So I better embrace that, and I better figure out how am I going to handle changes and challenges and obstacles and setbacks in a positive way, because they're going to keep at me no matter what, and they're going to keep at all of us no matter what. Nurture business relationships. Absolutely positively one of the fastest ways to grow and build and supersize our businesses is to team up with like-minded people, learn from and model what other successful business owners have done before. Inspire those around you. I love that one as well. And then trust your, this is a biggie too. This is one we all learn from experience. Trust your gut, not just the spreadsheet, not just this objective information that you're being fed. Have you ever hired somebody without calling or having somebody check into their resume and references? If you had, and you made a mistake with that, I say you only do that once, because it usually turns out really, really bad for you. And then from then on, even if your gut says, this person's awesome, you still check into it, right? So that you're not surprised. You can still decide to bring that person into your organization, but you're doing it with an open mind as well as an open heart and an open gut. So I love that one as well. So share in the comments below today your best apple a day keeps the doctor away that you apply to your business. What is the habit or the thing that you do in your business that keeps you going no matter what, keeps you moving forward and creating the businesses and the life that you want? Share those so we can all learn from one another. And I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where does it come from? And how might you use it to build and grow and supersize your business? Have a great day. Yes, I am going to eat this apple today. Bye.